Hi, I hope you took me up on that aspirin suggestion because I would beg your indulgence for a very short little rant about how important the data thread can be in meeting the objectives of the CS Principal course. And in this little rant I want to have with you, I'd like to have a little conversation with you about three main points. The first is I want you to see the excitement of the data thread. Why? So that you can help your students see that excitement. The idea of teasing out patterns in a clump of information and finding correlations and causations and building a model and testing it and discarding it and tweaking it and growing and building on it. Is there a more quintessential human activity than that? One of the early myths identified in why people don't like to go into computer science, the myth that this is dull and boring stuff. How cool is it to be out figuring out how the world works? So I think the data unit, because it is all about discovery, will go far in helping all of us create some more excitement about computer science. The second idea that I would like to talk with you about is that the data unit is yet an additional tool in our tool set to broaden participation. We know that despite our best efforts to make programming fun and engagement, and you have to admit that with the advance of Scratch and Snap and build your own blocks, programming has become, with these block editors, much more fun and engaging. Despite those best efforts, there will be students we need to bring into the computer science community who just don't want to program. There is a breed of student not yet in the fold that might be particularly attracted to data. The group of students, many of them women, who want to save the world, who wrongly, but this is their truth, see programming as, you know, I don't want to do games, I want to save the world. Here is an opportunity for you to reach out to those students. And for me, this is a great way to meet this dual burden that we've posed for ourselves here. This will be a rigorous class in keeping with other College Board classes that's meritorious of college credit. But we want to go gently on the math and science so that those students who have opted out of math because they think they're not good at it, because they think they couldn't possibly like it, here is an opportunity to maybe tease some of those students, the students that aren't attracted to the programming excitement, back into the fold. One of the reasons this works, ironically, is you can do some powerful data analytics by treating all of programming as an abstraction layer. It's kind of ironic, don't you think? And we'll see when we actually look at how to do some simple data mining how that works. The third reason that I'm so cranked up about data is that the exiting competencies of this unit, the data unit, can put hopefully every student on a path to being a more critical consumer of data, and many students on the path to becoming a trained producer of significant information. It's been said that the internet has been the most democratizing principle since the advent of the printing press. And we find ourselves in history with three really exciting things that are happening, and they're happening at the same time. Thing number one, we are starting to disseminate computational analytic skills. We are starting to digitize. There is a critical mass of digitized information. And finally, there is starting to flood into the public domain open source analytical tools. And I think the confluence of these three things coming together will prove for a really interesting acceleration moment in human history. Who cares what the sound is produced when a tree falls in the forest or when one hand claps? what is the sound going to be when you have a million minds computationally mining a data set? I think we're in for some really, really cool stuff. And finally, there is a tremendous stewardship to this unit. The students you are teaching, it's not going to come from my generation, the generation you are teaching has a sacred mission. They are going to have to redefine the world, our ethics, our legal system in a digital context. And I, for one, think they will be better for it by having some idea of how we abstract data and how we legitimately mine that data for information. So I hope this gives you an idea of why I am so passionate about the power that this thread in the Computer Science Principles course offers, and why I will love to work with you in continued conversations about refining the pedagogy we use in teaching these ideas to our students.